Westminster Chapel is a historic building and place of worship. It's had many prominent, probably quite famous pastors in the Christian world. The church was founded in 1840 by a guy called Samuel Martin with a real heart for the local community. And the area around it was called the Devil's Acre by Charles Dickens. And this church and many other churches and other Christians in the locality got together to really serve and care for that community. And so it's been a church that's very prominent in the evangelical faith world.
There are some projects that you work on that are really quick. And then there's some projects that need to be cooked slowly. And in a way, this project is one of those. This project has taken 5 years to develop and to grow, not just for ourselves as a practice, but also in the hearts and the minds of the community. It had incredible vision from the start from the leaders of this church, who realised that they had a project that needed to make a better civic contribution to the city. It was kind of crazy that one day a week it was open. And I suppose it's the problem with all churches at the moment, that, how do we bring relevance to kind of religious buildings or buildings like this? And this project is something that we kind of felt from the very start, through some very sensitive, very simple kind of architectural moves, that we could make a project that would give back, not just to the community here at Westminster Chapel, but also to the wider kind of community of Westminster and, in fact, London. We did a piece of work at the very beginning of this project where we had a month of residency, where we actually moved into Westminster Chapel and into the surrounding buildings to ask residents what they knew of the building. And we didn't draw anything, we just listened. And we spent this first month listening and observing and watching the service and watching how people were using the space. So things we did very simply in this project were creating a new access, which meant that all could access through the front of the building for the first time in the history of this project. We then wanted to create a view from Buckingham Gate through into this remarkable auditorium, creating a welcome space, we called it, and a cafe that could be a threshold between the building, the street, and the kind of internal mechanism of this church. So I think we looked to kind of open up better interaction between people when they're in the space.
Yeah, I think being at Westminster Chapel, while the church is not a building, the building isn't everything, there's something to be said for coming somewhere so beautiful. I mean, it is stunning. We've recently kind of done up the building. Even before and after, I've always loved it. I got to get married here. And yeah, there's just something to be said for coming into a building that you love. And also, I think being in central London, we're here to reach people. And ultimately, there will be people that will come to see the building. And that's fine by me.
We've got a real heart and a love for our locality. We run a food bank that feeds and cares for people in crisis, and a debt centre. We've got a parents and toddlers group as well, amongst many other things. So we really try and love, care, bless, seek to serve the local community. We have a very lively, active, engaging service. Now without the pews, people can move around, the kids can run around a little bit and have fun, people can raise their hands, dance. So there's a lot more freedom in this space because there's less restrictions that were inhibiting just interactions between people before.
Almost 5 years to the day, we walked into this building for the first time, not looking at the chapel, actually looking at the toilets. And there was a need to kind of modernise the toilets. And we walked into the building and we kind of said, I think it may not be the toilets that are the problem. And so 5 years ago, we started with a small kind of idea. through the faith of this community and this incredible congregation and through the leadership of the kind of church team, this project is growing and is still growing. What we see at the moment is the first phase of 4 or 5 phases going on that will take place over probably 20 years of this project.